I'm going to call the meeting to order. Can you all rise for the pledge, please? Okay, let's do roll call.
Audrey Lynn Hurston James.
Megan Levine.
Ann Markoulis.
Angela Ramo.
Maria Venuto.
Leah Leone.
Maureen Jimenez.
Isabella Basil.
Okay, so let's move to approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion? Angela and Ann, any discussion or comments on the minutes? Okay. Could we approve the minutes? Could we show of hands? I think. Oh, hi. I know that I know you weren't there, right? Yeah, we're definitely. It's because we're pushed forward because of this. All right, so we've approved the minutes minus Maureen, who is abstaining. So now we're going to move on to committee reports. So we have audit up first.
So our internal auditors are on site this week, and they'll return next week to complete the risk assessment audit. And they expect to have a draft audit ready for review toward the end of March. And the New York State Office of State Controllers will be conducting a water testing audit, and we are meeting with the auditor tomorrow for the initial conference to discuss what they will need.
Okay, thanks. Policy committee? I think Andrew's.
Well, we'll
Okay.
meet on the 18th, our next meeting, and tonight we have on the agenda 2 second reads that we're going to approve, hopefully, 2 separate policies
Okay.
that need to be approved.
For second readings, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. And then education committee, does anybody want to? Yes. Can one of you from education committee have anything to share, or I don't know?
Okay, so our meeting today unfortunately had to be canceled, but we
Mhm.
did meet last week. We talked about, please remind me. Oh, we talked about the summer program and opportunities to expand the summer program, and Dr. Doshner was able to reach out to other districts to see what other districts offer, and so we're going to be talking about that, and hopefully we can set something up for the following summer.
She was following up with a few of the districts when we discussed what was interested. She had like a nice, of course, data presentation with what the other districts were offering. It was nice to see all the information that other districts quickly gave us. And then we also got an update on the social emotional learning curriculum, which was really great, but that was also included in our board update. So you guys are aware of it, but it was really nice to see that we're getting feedback on it and see how it goes.
Okay, great, thanks.
Can I ask- On the, looking into the extended summer program, I guess I can I know she's not here tonight, but I guess I can email to follow up to try to maybe give some of that information to the full board, just because I think since it was so new, and just to see what the outcomes were and like what it could be.
So
you know?
something that might be really helpful for you is that all of Alexa's agendas have linking documentation for it. So we can forward you the agendas because all of her data is linked in her agendas as we review it. So we'll just forward you all of our agendas. Yeah.
Forward it to all of us? Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you. Okay.
But just so you know, it's been a little tricky this summer. For this summer, we are already looking to find the correct space for the correct program because of all the construction that's happening at the high school and in some other buildings, Landing, for example, and Daisy. So it's a little bit of a trick, but I think we've worked already with Spiro also with his program. So it looks like we're going to be moving forward. Yeah.
Okay. Can we get the facilities report, please?
And so at the high school, there was a leaking heating pipe in the end wing that was abated and repaired this past weekend. The expansion tanks have been installed, and there has been some preliminary work started for the bond projects in the cafeteria and the science rooms. In the middle school, the renovations are in progress in the 1910 400 bathrooms. Demo's been completed and piping is being repaired. The 1910 lower level fire sprinklers have been relocated in the conference room. At Daisy, the elevator alarm system has been placed in service. The hot water heater is in the process of being replaced and should be completed by next weekend. The steel structure is up and the block work is in progress. At Landing, we had a new water fountain installed, and final punch list items for the addition are in process, and the sidewalk should be starting soon. And then district-wide, Mr. DiNapoli and I toured the buildings over the February break with the vendor for our AED devices. She helped identify the best places to install those devices, and we're working on a schedule for installation. That's the report.
Thank you. Does anybody have questions about that, or we good? Okay, so moving on. Okay, so now it's my turn. Here's our president's report on our superintendent search. So last night we had a public forum, which was attended by 13 people in person and 27 by Zoom. I think that the district-wise felt that it was a good turnout. They don't necessarily always get that many people, but they also got a lot of good feedback they reported to us, and just want to make you aware also that there is an email address set up for the hiring process. If people have questions, comments that they still want to share, the email will be up for another 24 hours. And so that will be on that's on our website still. So you have another little bit of time before that goes down. And we've set up a schedule with them. So our plan at this point, we're hoping, is that we'll be meeting through April with candidates, and then we hope to be able to approve somebody by May 7th, which will be our last board meeting before the budget vote. So that's where we're at with that. Maria, super report.
So I want to begin by giving us a little commercial break. And Andrew, could you help me? The stage is like right. So some of you may have seen the commercial break we had at our last board meeting. This is the Connolly production of Frozen. I hope our community can come out and enjoy the production. I know the students have had a great time putting it together. I also want to make you aware that we will be hosting the Glen Cove celebration of our diversity on Wednesday, March 12th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. At the high school. There will be a number of different productions and performances. We'll have the high school auditorium doing cultural arts performances, our art gallery showing master classes, workshops in our classrooms, and what's a community event without the multicultural food fair. So it looks to be a wonderful, wonderful event. I hope to see many people next Wednesday, 6 p.m. here at the high school. I have a recognition of one of our students. She wasn't able to come tonight, but I know that Mrs. Poulos is here, and she is accepting the certificate on this young lady's behalf, and maybe in the future we can have her come. And so I'd like to speak to Maya Masson's awesome achievement in winning first place in the Ranham Hall Valentine's Day Poetry Contest. I would have loved to have her here today, but unfortunately she is ill, won't be able to make it. But Ms. Poulos, could you come up?
Good evening, everyone. Just to give you a little historical context on the Raynham Hall Poetry Contest. It happens every year because Raynham Hall is noted for having the oldest Valentine's letter here in Oyster Bay. It was written by General Simcoe on February 14th, 1779, to Sarah Townsend, and he was a British soldier, so that was interesting. Okay. Also with me tonight, I have Sarah's poem that I would like to read to you. It's entitled Moonlight Whispers. In a garden bright and fair, two hearts found love to share. Underneath the moon's soft glow, love began to truly grow. Hand in hand they walked the night, stars above, their guiding light. Whose whispers sweet and eyes so bright, love was strong, it felt so right. Through the seasons, love would stay in the sun and rainy days. Promises in silence made, in each other's arms they stayed. Valentine, please be mine. In your heart our love will shine. Forevermore through thick and thin. And love's embrace, let's begin.
Wow.
Congratulations, Mia.
I think Maya has a career coming to her as a poet and perhaps a journalist, but her writing was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Okay. So I did go up to Albany on Sunday and went right to my first meeting, the Executive Council meeting for the New York State Council of School Superintendents. We met with a number of different groups. We talked about legislative priorities. We did meet with Terrence Pratt, Senior Counsel to the Governor, as well as Maria Fernandez, the Deputy Secretary for Education, in regard to the foundation aid. I was in a room full of people talking about what our percentage increase was, and maybe perhaps will increase as the different advocacies took place. But unfortunately, I did stand up to point out that although we received our foundation aid, and it was somewhere around 3%, we did find out that when the actual formula is substituted, and here's my math scholars, so listen carefully, when certain variables are just replaced and the impact is not checked, it does not always result in what you want it to be. And so there are 24 districts, one of which is Glen Cove, that did not get what it should have gotten And we did find out that we may see some compensation in future runs. So I'm looking forward to that. That wasn't enough. So comes Tuesday morning, lobby day, I, with two other superintendents and Bob Lowry from NISCUS, as well as Greg Burke, went up to the hill, as they said, and it truly is a hill. And we met with the head of the Education Committee in the Senate, Shelley Mayer, who has been an advocate for many, many years. And Maria, I know you went up there with Alexis DiMaggio a couple of years ago. She is working very, very hard to support us as we move forward in a number of different areas. One of which is trying to get the aidable amount for teacher salaries in BOCES to increase, because that will allow for districts to be able to increase the number of students that can participate in their career and tech ed programs. So we're looking forward to that. We advocated strongly for that, not just in the Senate, but we did move over to the chairperson of the Assembly Education Committee, Assembly Member Michael Benedetto. Again, we spoke about our legislative priorities, our need to see that foundation aid is actually created, the new formula created, and that be part of the budget. We did also, again, go back to Terrence Pratt and Maria Fernandez in what's called the War Room in the Capitol building, and spoke to them as well as others in regard to our legislative priorities. We also talked about the cell phone regulation. And although we are happy to put a policy in place, we have some concerns in regard to the actual regulation that has been put out, proposed. We would like to see some changes to that and leave some of it to the local decision, the flexibility based on the community. Many, many districts, including ours, have started to put policies in place and procedures in place, and they're working. And so we are concerned that if we put that ban in place, that bell-to-bell ban, it would not necessarily be accepted in districts as it is meant to. And so I have to say they were listening very carefully to our recommendations, and we hope to see some of them come to fruition. It was a fun day, a very hectic day, running from one side of the Capitol to the other, but it seemed that we were getting some very positive feedback, and we look forward to a little bit more in our foundation aid as we go through the next couple of proposals. I know that the One House budget will be prepared within the next week to 10 days, and I am sure that when that comes out, we will be supportive of some of the many of the recommendations that are coming out of the Assembly and the Senate. Okay? All right. And that is the superintendent's report this evening. Oh, well, I'm sorry. That's the superintendent speaking. And now, the most important person in this room this evening, as we go through the budget process, is our Assistant Superintendent for Business, Teresa Cahan. Teresa?
Thank you, Dr. Yana. Good evening. Tonight for Budget Workshop number 3, we're going to talk about the program component of the appropriation budget. We reviewed the capital and administrative components at the Board of Ed meeting on February 12th. The program component is the largest component of a school district budget and includes items necessary for instruction. first code we'll look at is teaching regular school. This includes salaries for teachers, teacher assistants, monitors, equipment and equipment repair, textbooks, workbooks, and instructional materials for all buildings within the district. Next is teaching special education. This line represents the expenses necessary for all special education students. That would include salaries for teachers, monitors, teaching assistants, and instructional materials. In addition, it includes the cost for tuition for special education schools that our students attend and any services they receive like occupational therapy, physical therapy, and evaluations. The increase that you see here is due to the increased cost of sending students to these special schools. Vocational education is programming for our students through the BOCES Career and Technical Education Schools. These programs are available to our students to gain insight into certain careers like culinary arts, cosmetology, nurse assisting, carpentry, plumbing, and auto technology. Teaching special schools includes the expenses for a BOCES summer program, the GED program, driver's education, and the Summer of Success program at the elementary level. Library includes the expenses for the librarians, including their salaries, supplies, and softwares. Glen Cove Television includes salaries and supplies needed to support the GCTV program. Computer-assisted instruction includes the cost for the IT department and the software and hardware needed to support instruction in the classroom. This line also includes funding to purchase instructional devices for our students and staff. Attendance represents the salaries for the attendance office at the middle school and high school. The decrease you see here is due to some staffing changes. Guidance includes the salaries for guidance departments in the middle and high school, and the clerical staff within those offices and their supplies. Health services includes the salaries for the nurses district-wide, the supplies needed for those offices, and the cost of health services for our students that are attending private and parochial schools. This also includes funds for an annual AED inspection and supplies to ensure the AED devices in each building are in top working order. Psychological services include the salaries for our psychologists, their supplies for special testing and psychological exams. Social work services represent salaries and supplies for the social workers. The co-curricular expense includes salaries and supplies for programs such as the plays, as we saw earlier, and productions in Connolly, Landing, Findlay, and the high school graduation. Interscholastic athletics includes the expenses for the coaches, security at the events, equipment, referee fees, awards, and supplies. The increase you see here is for additional helmet reconditioning and an increased supply cost for a few additional teams. Transportation services include the salary for our transportation person and the supplies for her office. Contract transportation is the cost of the busing for our students within district, to private and parochial schools and for the special education students. This cost continues to increase, and we are currently estimating a 7% increase for next year. Summer rec includes salaries to oversee the summer program. The expense for adult education is for the programming that is offered to the community. With the adult education program, however, we receive revenue for everyone that signs up for the classes and registration fees. Employee retirement includes all non-certified employees. Non-certified employees would be in positions such as clerical, custodial, monitors, nurses, and food service. This increase is determined by the New York State Employees Retirement System and is based on the salaries that are paid to these employees. Teacher retirement includes all certified employees, such as teachers, administrators, teacher aides, and central office administrators. This increase is determined by the New York State Teachers Retirement System and is based on the salaries that are paid to the employees. FICA represents the amount that the district is required to pay for Social Security and Medicare, based on all salaries for the district. Workers' compensation is our cost for coverage that provides benefits and medical care to employees that are injured during their job. The increase you see here is to bring the expense up to what our actual expense has been. These expenses are offset by our workers' comp reserve, which is included in the revenue budget each year. Life insurance and disability insurance expense have remained flat. And unemployment expense has increased to better align with what our actual expenses have been. As I had mentioned in a previous budget presentation, medical insurance has continued to increase, and we are predicting a 10% increase for next year. Administrative fees are the fees paid for the Omni Group and WageWorks, the third-party administrators for our 403B and flexible spending plans. The transfer to special aid fund represents the district's portion of the expense for the summer special education programs. The total for the program budget currently is $98.6 million. Now, Budget Workshop number 4 will be presented on March 19th, and we will discuss the tax levy limit for 25-26 school year, and we will also discuss the status of the 25-26 budget at that time. Thank you for your time, and I will answer any questions from the board. No? Good?
Thank you, Teresa. We're all good? Okay. All right, then. That brings us to the student board. How's that? The student board member report?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to share some recent events and array of activities that have taken place at our school over the past few weeks. On February 13th, Ms. Hall's African Diaspora class led a special assembly to celebrate Black History Month. The assembly aimed to honor the diverse cultural backgrounds within our community while highlighting the impactful contributions of Black individuals throughout history. The Rho Kappa Honor Society and Slick Chorale also helped contribute to the specialness of the event. Next, on February 14th, our high school staff participated in support for mental health awareness by wearing purple PS I Love You shirts. This initiative, which aims to spread awareness and start conversations about mental health, was a powerful reminder of the importance of mental well-being. Last Tuesday, the Harlem Wizards came to play against the Glen Cove Teachers. This fun-filled game, organized by the Booster Club, Landing, and high school PTAs, was a great example of school spirit and community engagement. Students, faculty, and local community members came to watch, and the friendly competition provided an entertaining night for all. Meanwhile, our middle school students have been busy preparing for their upcoming production of The Addams Family, which will run from March 21st to March 23rd. It is encouraged for community members to go and watch and support our talented middle school students. Additionally, this week, a select group of DECA students are competing in the New York State Championships in Rochester. They're showcasing their business skills and knowledge with the potential to qualify for the international competition in April. We're incredibly proud of these students and are rooting for them. Looking ahead to this Friday, we have the highly anticipated district-wide Red and Green Games, which will take place at 5:30 p.m. in the high school back gym, where students from each grade are encouraged to compete. Last year, the green team took home the win, but this year's competition is sure to be just as exciting. We hope everyone will come out to cheer on their team. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Isabel.
Thank you, Isabel.
Okay, so now we're moving on to our first public participation of agenda items only. So you can go up to Ida and sign in your name and address, and then you can 3 minutes to speak.
Janet Blatt, McGrady Street, Glen Cove. I have a comment about what I think you said about foundation aid. It seems to me that last year there was an uproar because it involved a widespread number of districts throughout the state. So if they limit the number to 24 being hit hard this year, at least at this point, is that what you said, 24?
Yeah, keep going on.
That you limit the outcry if you are them. And if you limit the outcry, other districts are not going to care. The people in those districts are not going to care because they're not being hit hard. And the end result is that Glen Cove and the 23 other districts are going to be on a serious losing end. The other thing, I'm not sure, you said the way they're calculating the amount of money. Could you explain that a little bit?
Okay. So first, it wasn't that we were hit hard. We were not given the expected foundation aid based on our poverty count, because they changed one of the variables, okay? And you cannot change one variable in the entire formula without impacting other pieces of the formula. And so for 24 districts, there needs to be an adjustment made. In regard to the second part of your question was exactly what? I'm sorry.
I think that you just answered it when you just
Okay.
talked about
So
the
foundation aid,
variables.
again, last year, they had a foundation aid investigation report on if we created a new formula, what is it that we have to pay attention to? And that was, feedback was provided, information was provided, information was gathered by the Rockefeller Institute, and the report came out December 1st. So now we would like to see the understanding and the recommendation be put into place for the next school year so that we begin to formulate this new formula that would allow for more current data to be utilized, more relevant information to be part of the formula so that it better reflects your current enrollment and your current enrollment needs. And by current, I don't mean this year, but for example, if they took information from last year or the year before and then averaged it out and then you get paid in the third year, it would be more relevant than using, for example, census data that is 25 years old. So it gives you a more up-to-date understanding of the profile of the district and the needs as a result.
Can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
I thought that at the last meeting, maybe it was the meeting before that, but I thought that you said that what was put together in the Rockefeller Foundation report was not going to be used for next year, but in several out years away.
Mm-hmm.
So that still says to me that Glen Cove, other districts, but my concern is here, is going to wind up behind where we should be, even if they increase the money somewhat, even if it comes out to more than about 3% or whatever. So how are we supposed to function?
Okay. Are you done? Okay. So, no, we're not going to be far behind if they're able to compensate. They've already identified. We've identified the concern in these 24 districts. And so if they're able to compensate for the calculation in the next run, then we would have those monies in the final budget from the governor. So we wouldn't be far behind. We wouldn't be behind at all.
And what's the chance of that really happening?
Remains to be seen. Thank you. Does anybody else have anything? Okay, you just need to sign in there with Ida, your name and address, and then when you come up to the podium, you can let us know your name and address.
Yeah, on the agenda, because it's on the agenda.
I believe you also have some AV support here, but go ahead and speak.
Good eve-
Talk
good
what?
evening, members of the board, faculty. and
Bring it
community.
close to your mouth, okay?
Sorry. Good evening, members of the board, faculty, and community members. My name is Naura Ahmed. I am currently a senior at Glen Cove High School, and I'm here to advocate for the recognition of Eid al-Fitr as an official school holiday. Eid al-Fitr is one of the most important holidays in Islam, marking the end of Ramadan, a month of fasting for 30 days, self-reflection, and devotion. It is time for joy. It is a time of joy, gratitude, and community. A day when Muslims come together with family, attend prayers, share meals, and give to those in need. For Muslim students like myself, Eid is just not another holiday. It is a deeply significant day of spiritual and cultural importance. Yet, every year, Muslim students in our district are faced with a difficult choice: celebrate one of the most sacred days of their faith, or attend school and keep up with academic responsibilities. Many of us have to miss a full day of classes, tests, and assignments only to return the next day overwhelmed and playing catch-up. This is not fair. Our peers who celebrate Christmas, Rosh Hashanah, and other religious holidays do not have to choose between their education and their faith. So why should we? Recognizing Eid as a school holiday is not just about fairness. It's about inclusivity, respect, and acknowledging the diversity of our student body. When schools recognize the holidays of all students, it sends a powerful message that every culture, every religion, and every student matters. It fosters understanding among peers, encourages open-mindedness, and allows all students, Muslim or not, to learn about the traditions that make our community so beautifully diverse. By making Eid a school holiday, we are not asking for special treatment. We are asking for the same recognition and respect that other major religious holidays already receive. We're asking for a school district that values all of its students equally. Inclusivity should not be an afterthought. It should be a priority, and today I ask you to take a step toward that inclusivity by recognizing Eid al-Fitr as a school holiday. I also, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Did you play?
You shared something with the board you sent to us, and we've also received petitions with many signatures and a very nice letter that you wrote, and a video that apparently you were working with Ms. Lasser on. So we're going to share it with everybody too, because we were really impressed by it and appreciate your advocacy.
I know that it's a religious holiday, and I know like a few of my friends celebrate it, especially like my Muslim friends. But I think an issue is that we really need to be educated more about these things because it's important to these different communities. So do you know what Eid is? Do you celebrate it?
Yes, I do. I celebrate it. I'm fasting right now for Ramadan.
I do know that it exists, and I do know that it's a significant holiday in the Muslim community, but I don't know a whole lot about it.
Why do you think having a holiday for Eid is important for us?
I think it's important because I think the community to recognize the importance of it, and I think the students will feel that celebrate Eid will feel really happy that their holiday is also celebrated.
I think it's important as a very diverse community that we celebrate everyone's cultures and everyone's religions because
represented enough?
I think, especially in this town, I mean, Glencoe is so diverse, that we should be celebrating all the different holidays. And if we have a significant amount of people in this building who celebrate that holiday, and it means that much to them, then we should be off.
I feel like it's very underrecognized, and I feel like bringing more like just like other religions, it should be important to be recognized.
I think it's important to have a holiday off for Eid because a few people in our school celebrate it. We're a very diverse community, so I feel like our holiday should be celebrated too.
Be conservative of other religions, because people have holidays for Jewish people, Chinese New Year, Christmas. Muslim people need a holiday too, I feel like.
These were some great responses. It's clear that having off your Eid is important for many students in our school district. If you agree, let's keep raising our voices and pushing for this change. Thanks for watching, and let's make it happen.
Yeah?
So, where is she?
She's hiding behind the
You're
podium.
hiding behind the podium. I want you to know that the Board of Education heard you. They heard you at our luncheon. They heard you recently. They appreciated all the information that was sent to them. And although we're going out of order tonight, I'd like Mr. DiNapoli, could you please read that one resolution?
Sure. Based on the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve Agenda Item 9D, Adoption of 2025-2026 School Calendar as amended.
Can I get a motion? Ann and Angela?
Conversation.
Okay. Well, just this calendar also that will include for next year Eid in March, which is in need of a holiday. March is a long month, so on the 20th of March, we'll recognize Eid on our Glen Cove calendar. Thank you so much for your advocacy. Well, we need to vote to approve it first, which
Can I give her a copy?
Yes, please. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All in favor?
Well done.
All right, nice work. Okay, anybody else for public comment at this point? Okay, so we're going to move on. We are at instructional report. Who's doing that tonight?
I guess I will.
Okay.
I ask the board to approve the instructional report, letters A, B, and C.
Motion, Megan and Ann. All in favor? Okay, that's 7.
I want to point out that you have now approved the portrait of a graduate as presented at our last board meeting, and we will have the trifolds available in all the buildings, as well as copies on our website. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you to the committee. Susan, I know you're here, Ms. Poulos, Mr. Kladsky, and all those who sat on the committee that really created this wonderful portrait, as well as our student artist. So it's artists, there were 2. So thank you so very much.
Dr. Rihanna, do you think the trifolds would be available? Because I know that some of the schools have parent-teacher conferences coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think they could be there for that, for some?
I will get them copied as quickly as I can.
Okay, great.
Okay, thanks very much. That was a wonderful process, and I'm really proud of the work you guys did. I'm really happy about it. Thank you.
Oh, and
What's
to
wrong?
add to that, I was up in Albany again, and they talked about the graduation measures coming down the pike, and that every district should be looking to adopt a portrait of a graduate based on the items that are in the state portrait of a graduate. And guess what? We're ahead of the
Ahead of schedule.
them. Yeah. So thank you so
Yay.
much.
All right, so moving on to business affairs.
Based on the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, I ask for the Board of Education to approve Agenda Items 8A, Finance, numbers 1 and 2.
Motion? Maureen and Leah. Discussion about them? All in favor? 7.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask for the Board of Education to approve agenda item 8B, operations, number 1 through 8.
Oh,
8
okay.
through 6.
Could
Okay.
you, so we're gonna,
Sorry, I meant to mention that earlier.
All right.
1
1
through-
through
So,
5, and then
8B, operations, number 1 through 5.
okay. All in favor? That's 7.
Item 8B, operations, number 6.
All in favor? Right, and a motion, thank you, Ida. Huh? Yes. She corrected me first. Angela and Ann, all in favor? Okay. That's 6. And then, with a recusal, correct. So we still have 7 and
All
8.
right, so item 8B, operations, number 7 and 8.
Motion. Leah, Maureen. Any comments on the other items? All in favor? Okay, that's 7. I just want to acknowledge, we received a donation of, I can't find it, of books, yeah, sorry. Yeah, somebody made a,
It's anonymous.
it's, yes, an
I
anonymous.
love that.
Anonymous donation for,
500
in honor of Women's History Month. I think every 5th grader got a book.
Yep.
So that's very nice. Thank you for that donation, whoever you are.
and it it's now been like a recurring donation every year, and so just continued thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, great. All right, so now we're moving on to personnel.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve agenda item 9A certified, numbers 1 through 6.
Motion? Lynn and Megan, all in favor? 7.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve agenda item 9B classified, numbers 1 through 7.
Motion, Angela and Ann, all in favor? 7.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the Board of Education to approve agenda item 9C non-classified, number 1.
Motion, sorry. Angela and Ann, any discussion on this one? No? All in favor? 7. Okay, great. All right, so now we have unfinished business. There are 2 policies both of which we're doing a second reading on. One is policy 1800. Does somebody on policy want to speak to these at all? Either? Maybe?
This was just the
Donation.
tweaking of the donations, right? The wording of it. And then the other one is the communication flow chart. Pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
There were a couple of changes made to that as well.
The chart, and also, yeah, the chart.
It's an organizational chart.
Should we do these together or separate? Does it matter? We could do.
No, you can do them together.
Okay, did I do a motion yet? No. Can I get a motion? Sorry. Angela and Ann. Any discussion on either of these policies, concerns, questions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, so we've approved the 2 policies with unanimous decision. Excellent. Okay, so now, does anybody have, no, new business? I don't think we do. How about board comments? Is that me? Sorry. Go ahead, Leah, do you, no? Anybody? Oh, you guys, okay. Please.
I just wanted to say thank you to the student. I didn't catch your name, but that was incredible, amazing. Good for you for speaking up for yourself and for your religion. I think it was incredible. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I had a couple thoughts. One that just came to me during this meeting, which is I just wanted to, in the first instance, thank Teresa for like stepping into her role in sort of a difficult time, like mid-school year, launching into the budget presentations and the budget preparation, and just how like helpful you are and forthcoming with answers to all of our questions. It's like always a lot to digest the budget, so sometimes it takes us a minute after you present it to us to then sort of process it and come up with our thoughts and questions, and as this process goes on, I'm sure we'll have more for this year, but I just wanted to, in the first instance, thank you for your hard work in just like 3 months. It's like, I feel like you've been here much longer than that, in a good way. Okay, so in one instance, welcome, and then again, and then on the other end, I wanted to just mention, because a few weeks ago, we accepted the resignation of somebody, and it was, I think, it wasn't really acknowledged, and it was kind of an oversight, as sometimes these things happen. And so I just wanted to say publicly, our now former Director of Facilities, Victor Timchinyuk, who I'm sure, like, if I maybe said that right once. I just wanted to thank him for, his service here over so many years, all of his hard work and efforts that he put in to improve this district on big projects, on small projects. Another district made him a nice offer. We're really happy for him. And we wish him like a lot of success in the future. And, like it's a big role to step into, but we just, want to acknowledge all that he did for us here. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else? You don't want to plug red and green games? Come on.
All right, I will. So on this Friday, we have our wonderful event, our Red and Green Games, which I said last meeting, this is one of my favorite events.
Cowbells are out.
Cowbells are out, my bullhorn is out. So please come and support. Doors open up at 5:30, games start around 6. So please come out and support our students. It's really, really a great event. And Green did win. And I know I'm on the Board of Education, but Green will win again. So.
Okay.
Isabel, are you green or red? Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, but Maureen, you're representing red today. All right.
She's got her red on. All right. Our last round of public participation, if anybody has any non-agenda, non-personnel items.
Sit here long enough and I'll have a longer list. First of all, Janet Blatt, 31 McGrady Street, Glen Cove. First, I want to comment on Victor's resignation. And I'll start that with, you can't possibly...
Janet, no personnel.
You don't have to speak. I've told you this before. You don't have to say a word. I am, in an open meeting, allowed to say whatever I want. And what I want to say is that he did the best job that anyone in that position has ever done in this district in the 53 years that I have lived here. And that he wouldn't have resigned if you people had treated him better.
Stop.
Second thing, different topic. The calendar. I am delighted that you did what you did for the students of this district who celebrate Eid. I would like to tell you again that holidays, be they Muslim holidays, Jewish holidays, whatever, that start at sundown, have to be listed on the school calendar, print and the computer version, as starting when they start. From what I've read, and I'm not a student of Muslim holidays, their holidays also start at sundown. It is important, as do Jewish holidays. It is important that they are listed as starting at sundown. so that anyone who looks at the calendar and wants to put an event in place doesn't put it in place on those evenings, because you are excluding people who are celebrating those holidays. Now, there may be Jews who care about Hanukkah being listed like that. It doesn't matter to me personally, but you might want to ask around. But for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Passover, it is critically important that you list it that way, so that events then aren't put in place, and then they have to be canceled, and then people who don't celebrate those holidays get very upset. Put it out front, let people see it. It's easy to do. As I've told you before, you don't have to crowd up the boxes. Put little colored circles, different colors for each holiday, whatever it is, religious holidays, cultural holidays, whatever. And then make space. Push the whole page, the printing up. You'll give yourself 6/8 of an inch more at the bottom. You put the color code circle, and you put the holiday, the reason the school is closed, whatever. It's easy to do. This is not rocket science, ladies. Just please, please do it.
Okay, does anybody else have a public comment?
I just was listening to Janet talk about that, and I just thought to my, the calendar and the acknowledging that they start the night before, and I know that sometimes it's a space issue, so even when you named the holiday, if you put like a moon next to it or something, it would signify that it started the night before. And it's something to consider when you're looking at the calendar. I don't know if that ever happens.
Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Leah and Maureen, all in favor? Thank you.